Good afternoon. It is the 26th of May. I know I've been away from the channel for a long time, so I just wanted to make a small video once again. We're looking at Wall Street. Okay, so we have Wall Street here. So the question was, can we look at the tails or the wicks and try to determine what is the next candle? Let me start off by saying we are not called to determine what the next candle is. We are not called to predict what the next candle is. We are only called to react. Okay. Having said that, there are some telltale signs that can tell us what it might be. Okay, so let us look at it carefully now. Usually, let's look at this candle here. Usually, when there's a huge wick like this, it means the price went up all the way till here. Okay, let me make it bigger so that you can see it. There you go. Okay, here we go. So the price went all the way up, but the sellers started pushing the price down. So this candle here, you see this candle here? This is a classic candle saying that the price is going to reverse now. It is going to become a sell. And yet we see that it didn't become a sell, it continued being a buy. The next candle also was a very strong sell signal. It's signaling sell. Why? Because this huge wick on the top says that the sellers pushed the price all the way down here. The price started here, it went all the way up here, and the sellers pushed it all the way down. And yet it continued. Why is this? Because if we start reading candles and ignore the trend, we get into this bad habit uh, you know, of trying to predict what is the next candle. No, 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 don't do that. Always look at the overall trend. What is the overall trend? Right? The overall trend is a buy. It's going up. So why would you ignore that and try to look at the candle? Now let's look at another candle. Okay, this one here. Let me make it big. This one. This one is a classic buy signal. Look at this candle. The price started here. It went all the way down here, but the buyers pushed it up, which means it has to go now towards buying. And yet it went down to selling. Why? Because there's a lot of seller pressure here. So to answer your question, can we look at wicks and the body of a candle and try to determine what's the next candle? No, we cannot. Do not do that. You'll get into a lot of trouble. But here are some things you can do. Look at this huge candle. If the next candle, that's this one, starts above the close of the previous one, right? And closes above the close, I can understand it is going to be a buy. So immediately here you can buy. Let me repeat. If one candle, this one candle, it opens above the close of this one and closes above the close of this one, you can assume that it's a buy. Is it 100%? No, it could reverse again, but most often than not, 70% of the time, it will result in a buy. Now, let's look at a sell. If one candle closes below the previous one, opens below and closes below, you can sell here and hold it for a sell. Let me give you some more examples. Some very strong examples are here, but don't want strong ones. Let's try to take some not so evident ones. Here, look at this candle here. Right, let me just make it bigger. Okay, look at this candle here. This one right here, it closed, it opened above this and closed above, and yet the candles came down. Right, it came down only to go up. Now let's just assume you take a trade over here. Let me just draw a line. Let's say you decided to take a trade there because I told you if the candle closes, opens and closes above, it opened and closed, so on the next candle you took a trade. Great. And then it started reversing. Do you get out of the trade? No. Why? Because this candle has not gone after you opened the trade. This is a rule. This candle has not gone to the halfway of this candle. If this candle, any candle closes beyond the halfway, you could think of getting out, but it didn't. Then the next candle also was a sell. And to make matters worse, this looks like a sell signal. Next candle also is a sell. When the next candle closed, it still didn't go above this, or rather below the half. The third candle also didn't go below the half. And you were patiently holding only to find that you went into profit. Right? So, how do you know how to hold a trade if it looks like it's going against you? Don't panic, wait for the candle. Okay, now let's take an example here. Let's say you took a trade here. Let's just take an example. You took a trade on this red candle for a buy, and the red candle closed beyond the half of this candle. I would get out. I would get out and wait for another opportunity, right? So it closed beyond the half, so you get out. But this candle here, if this was the trade that you took, this candle here did not close the half, so you wait. Okay, so that's how you determine whether to stay in a trade or to get out of a trade. You don't take wicks into consideration so much because some people talk about it, but it's best not to do that. I hope it was helpful. Please feel free to ask questions.